around that period of time is some drugs were being sold out of 980 Confederate Avenue, right?
Yes.
You were subsequently convicted of a drug offense in Fulton County based on drugs found at 980 Confederate Avenue, true?
Yes.
And you were subsequently convicted in Clayton County based on drugs that, well, a drug offense in Clayton County, right?
Yes.
And that was you and Micah Anderson in Clayton County.
Yes.
Yes. You and Micah Anderson in Fulton County as well, true?
Yes.
All right. Now, isn't it true that in May of 2013, Jeffrey Williams, DK, and someone named Buck actually came to your apartment at 980 Confederate Avenue?
Can you repeat? I hear you.
Yes. Do you remember that if you do you remember that sometime in May of 2013, Jeffrey Williams, DK, and someone named Buck came to your apartment?
No.
Okay. Do you remember that those three individuals came to your apartment, and it wasn't Mr. Williams, DK, and Mr. Williams' brother, but Mr. Williams, DK, and this person named Buck? You remember that?
No.
Okay. Do you remember that they came there for purposes of buying or getting some drugs from your apartment?
No.
Okay. Do you remember that they came there and actually smoked with you and got high with you?
No.
Do you remember?
Your Honor, I'm going to object, assuming facts that are not in evidence. And because the question is being asked, do you remember?
I'm sustaining the issue. Just rephrase.
Is it true that when those three individuals came to your apartment?
Objection, Your Honor. It is still assuming facts that are not in evidence.
Your-
Because he said it was a true win.
Is it true that when those individuals came to your apartment, you smoked with them and got high with them?
No.
Is it true that when they left,
Your Honor, I must object. There is no fact in evidence that those three people came. And so when Mr. Adams keeps saying is it true when, he is assuming facts that are not in evidence. And unless he...
Your Honor, if I may just respond. I'm sorry? Well, Judge, I have to ask her the questions. I have a good faith basis to ask her the questions, and I have to ask her the questions and then have her either admit or deny before I can then subsequently.
There's no predicate. That's what I'm saying. That's what she's objecting to. So you've got to lay a little more predicate. You may have a good faith basis, but there's no predicate. Her objection is has merit.
Did those three individuals that I've just named, did they leave your apartment and Buck take a quantity of heroin that you had at your apartment?
I never had heroin. No.
Did, at some point after those individuals left your apartment, you have a conversation with Micah Anderson about the fact that Buck had stolen heroin from your apartment?
No.
Objection.
I'm over the objections.
You'll have to yes.
Did you, and then for purposes of I think there's a lot of talking going on, did you, at some point after those individuals left your apartment, did you have a conversation with your boyfriend, Micah Anderson, about the fact that Buck had stolen some heroin from your apartment?
No. No.
Okay. Did you receive a phone call after that incident with someone apologizing for Buck stealing the heroin from your apartment?
No.
Did you discuss with Mr. Anderson that Jeffrey Williams was going to pay for the heroin that Buck had stolen from your apartment?
Objection, Your Honor, that would be hearsay, and there is no exception for it.
Number one,
Unless, Your Honor, someone is on the list to prove that up, which there is not.
there is, she cannot,
The defendants.
Not what the response to the objection. I'm going to oppose the objection.
and so when around that time, right, and I'm talking about May of 2013, do you recall in the police report that Ms. Love asked you about making with Zone 3, that you told Zone 3 police officers that you had received a phone call apologizing for a robbery at your house?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Okay. The truth is that what actually happened in 2013 was that whole situation with Buck stealing heroin from your apartment. Isn't that true?
No.
I mean, there certainly was no incident where DK shot into your apartment or anyone put a gun to your head. That never really happened, did it?
No.
Do you recall on May the 13th, right? So we got Mother's Day, that's May the 12th, right? You remember that? If you remember, it was a long time ago.
No.
Okay. Do you remember anything about May the 13th having a police officer by the name of Officer Kirkland come into your apartment?
No.
Do you remember an Officer Kirkland and someone from the Atlanta Police Department crime scene unit coming to your apartment?
I don't know what officer came to my apartment, but I don't think it was on the 13th. But like my building, it had been shot at, so I don't know like exactly what day that was, but it just wasn't my specific apartment. It was the building.
Okay. So, if I heard you correctly, around that same time, I know you don't remember the exact date, but around that same time, your building had been shot at?
Yeah.
Okay. Not specifically your apartment, just your building.
Yeah.
And your apartment, or the building that you're in, has multiple apartments, is that true?
Yes.
Do you recall, around May the 13th, receiving multiple phone calls from an Officer Kirkland trying to ask you questions about what you had supposedly reported?
No.
You've never had to come in to a courtroom to testify about any supposed robbery in 2013 at your apartment, have you?
No. This all I know.
In 2013 or 2014 even, you were never contacted by anyone from the district attorney's office saying they wanted to talk to you about a robbery that occurred at your apartment in May of 2013, true?
Nobody never contacted me. 2013, 14, 15, none of that.
The first time that you were contacted or anyone asked you any questions about something that happened way back in 2013 was about a year ago. Is that right?
Yes.
And you told them that there was no robbery at your apartment in May of 2013. Isn't that true?
Yes.
I mean, you were never, you're not even aware of your name being included in any sort of a RICO indictment, are you?
No.
Or any incident from 2013 even being a part of any RICO indictment, right?
No.
Did anyone from the DA's office, anytime you spoke to him, whether it was an investigator or assistant DA, ever tell you, listen, we just want you to come in and say something about Jeffrey Williams? Anyone ever say anything like that to you?
No.
Have you ever, do you know what the nature of the relationship is between, is or was, between Jeffrey Williams and Micah Anderson, Ola Playa?
Yeah, they did music together.
Okay. They've been to the studio together, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever, and this happened, I mean, I'm talking back in 2013, all right? They did music together back then.
Probably before that.
You were aware that they have been friends or had a relationship since before 2013 and after 2013, right?
Yes.
And certainly, there's no indication, the child that you had in 2013 is Micah Anderson's child, right?
Yes.
All right. Would you, if you were robbed, someone put a gun to your head in two...
I'm going to object as to speculations.
Okay. Was there ever any time in 2013 where you said to Micah Anderson, Jeffrey Williams and two other guys came to my apartment and one of them put a gun to my head?
No.
Was there ever a time where you said to Micah Anderson, Jeffrey Williams and two other guys came to my apartment and one of them shot into the wall while our child, your baby, was there?
No.
Was there ever a time where you told Micah Anderson that there was this robbery and shooting at your apartment and Micah Anderson still continued to record music with Jeffrey Williams?
You repeat it?
Yeah. Was there ever a time where you told Micah Anderson, hey, Jeffrey Williams, DK, and some other guy came and stole and robbed me and shot up my apartment? And then after that, Micah Anderson still continued to record music with the person who was supposedly involved with shooting up his house with his baby there?
No.
Were you ever, did you ever have occasion to go to the studio when Mr. Anderson, Ola Playa, and Mr. Williams were there recording music?
Yeah, I've been before.
Okay, so you've been there with them together, right?
Yes.
Would that have been before May of 2013 or after?
Might have been before. I'm not sure.
Okay. But certainly you would tell this court, or you tell this jury, that after May of 2013, you and Ola Playa still continue to have a relationship with Jeffrey Williams, right?
After May, I had got arrested. So yeah, but I ain't had like no problems on there with him. Like we ain't had no problems.
Okay. You were arrested in Clayton County in June, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually went into custody, went to prison in, was it 2015?
Yes.
And you were in there for how long?
I think like 2 years, 6 months.
Okay. Now, you are still on probation for the Fulton County case, right?
No.
No? Is that done?
Yes.
Okay. Are you on probation in the Clayton County case?
No, I'm done with that too.
Okay. You've got another case that you're on probation for, right? A misdemeanor suspended license?
Objection, Your Honor, as to improper impeachment and improper introduction of character regarding what Mr. Adams just asked.
Goes to interest and bias.
You got it?
When you met, okay, let's get to it. When you met and spoke with the DA's office investigator, Mr. Hamilton, he was trying to get you to come to court, true?
Yes.
You told him that you couldn't come to court because you had a probation case in Clayton County, right?
Yes.
And so Mr. Hamilton knew that you had a pending case or a probation case in another jurisdiction based on what you told him, right?
Yes.
And what you told that investigator was that I can't come to court the next day because I got to go do 20 hours of community service in Clayton County. You told him that, right?
Yes, because they said if I ain't do the community service, they was going to arrest me and suspend my license.
That's what Clayton County said, right?
Yes.
And so you didn't come to court because you had to go do the community service.
Objection obeyed on a date, please.
Okay. On Tuesday of this week, let me see, the 26th, all right? The 26th of March, 2024, all right? You didn't come to court in the morning because you had to go and do the 20 hours community service in Clayton County, true?
No.
Okay. When did you have to go?
I had to go prior before then, but on Tuesday, I didn't come to court because I received a message from Mr. Hamilton like kind of late because I had ended up blocking him because sometimes I was getting phone calls. It wasn't about court, so I had blocked him. But on Tuesday, I ended up responding to him later because he told me that he had relation with the judge and he was gonna get a warrant out on me and get me arrested. And I told him I would come in, but they end up coming pick me up, like surround my house, move my cameras and stuff like that, and had my 11-year-old outside for like an hour and a half by himself because he didn't know I was at because it's only me and my kid.
But you got locked up?
Yeah.
After your conversation with Mr. Hamilton of the DA's office?
Yeah.
Those texts, were you speaking with Mr. Hamilton and members of the DA's office by way of text messages?
Sometimes text, sometimes phone call.
Okay. You still have the phone that you shared those messages with the DA's office. Those messages still in that phone?
Yes.
Who has that phone?
Mr. Hamilton took my phones and my ID.
You have a moment, Judge. All right. Ms. Bennett, I thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Your Honor, pursuant see someone else's suspicion.
Any other cross? Any other defendants?
Okay.
No one. All right. Ms. Love?
Your Honor, pursuant to Brown versus the State, 314 Georgia, 193.
And we,
Your Honor, may we